We've got Chris Miller on with us now, Chris Miller from NBC Sports Washington. Chris, I was watching you doing some post-game coverage, and I wanted you to kind of expand on why you think this team has turned it around. What is the single biggest factor in your mind as to why Washington now is going to be a playoff contender versus a team that was irrelevant a month ago?
Hey, good morning, guys. I think Russell Westbrook's style of play has become kind of infectious on the rest of the team. What I mean by that is they compete. You know, they still make mistakes. Okay, that happens through the course of the game. But I just love the competitive juice that they come with every night. And it doesn't matter if they get off the slow starts like last night. What, they missed their first 8 shots? They're still in the game. Getting to the free throw line, I mean, I think, I hope I get this right. I think they've made 54, before last night, they made 54 more free throws than the opposition since February 14th when this winning streak, started against Boston. So I just love how competitive they are now. And last night was, they should have won that game. 6-point lead with 2 to go, and then just weird things happen down the stretch. I call it, the typical Boston bad things happen to the opposition, cold showers back in the 80s when Bird and them were playing, weird things always seem to happen to us in Boston. But I just love the competitive juice this team brings now.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were probably prematurely critical of Westbrook because – look, when Westbrook was not healthy and when they were not playing well, the body language, Chris, on the team was awful. You saw it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're right. Now it looks like he's healthy. He's playing the back-to-backs. And
we also didn't really know that. We didn't know that he was banged up. We were like, what, did we get damaged goods here or something? Like, what's going on? And then we found out he had a procedure. Do you know what procedure he had, Chris?
No clue. I have no clue what was done. But whatever that procedure was, can I get it?
I'd like it to.
I mean, it could have been something simple. It could have been something like dry needling, or it could have been something very simple that just worked.
Right, and the reason why we didn't know it is because Russ is not the type of player to come out to the media and really, well, to be honest, to say anything, but especially not to tell us that he's hurt. It wasn't until I asked Scotty, I said, Scotty, is something going on here? I mean, he doesn't look right, and Scott admitted, he just, he got nicked up in training camp, and then we found out about the procedure in L.A. And I respect Russ in that sense that he's not going to sit here and cry about it. He's going to go out and play hard. And last night again, guys, just to go back to it, just some weird stuff down the stretch, but. What a great month. I mean, if I told you guys the Wizards had a chance to win 10 games in a month for the first time since 2017, you would have thought I was crazy. But it's really a byproduct of them, first of all, coming out of COVID, right? You have 6 guys that go down with it, and they're getting healthier, and I think their legs are under them, and the rhythm of the game is getting better also.
And they are playing better defense. If you look at their numbers – in the month of February, they're giving up 114.8. At one point, they were giving up over 120 a game, right? So, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's, that's a big difference if you're playing 6 or 7 point better defense.
You said it best right there. The fact that, you're giving up 6 less points on average, that's actually huge. I mean, you could go from being 30th in the league to 15th in the league in defense by being a team that gives up 6 less points. So, no, that's really significant.
Yeah. And it looks like, he's using Neto a lot, who's a really good defender. And, he's changed the rotation a little bit. Not that Garrison Matthews is putting up big numbers, but he's an effort guy, and he's starting. Some of those lineup switches, it seems like they've paid off.
Here's why I'm encouraged. So, last night, if you guys look at the box score, 3 of the 5 starters were no-shows. I mean, Garrison didn't play well, Rui didn't play well, Mo didn't play well, and yet they lost by 1. So that tells me, 2 things. First of all, we've got superstars on our team that can carry you on the second night of a back-to-back where they both play and they both play at a high level. And 2, like you guys said, you can call on Neto. You can call on Robin Lopez. even Isak Bonga last night, the guy couldn't hit, those corner threes, but yet he's in late game situations defending. So Scotty is starting to open up that lineup a little bit, and he has no choice, to be honest with you guys. In the second half of this season, they're going to play 38 games in 67 days. Everybody needs to be available to play in the second half, because if you don't, then you're going to be in trouble. I mean, those are way too many games to be played. You're either playing every other night or every night. So it really is all hands on deck.
And Chris, you mentioned the number of games they have upcoming. 10 of the next 14 at Capital One Arena. So that's a big stretch here at home. So they could stack even more wins with the 10 games at home coming up.
And the one thing that I do like about what the East looks like now, guys, you think about this. Between 12 and 4, yesterday was separated by 2 games. Mm-hmm. So if you have a good week, just a good week, let's say you play 4 times and you win twice, okay? You could actually move up in the standings if the teams ahead of you have a bad week. You can't have a bad week in the East this year, right? Because if you do, look at Indiana. I'll give you a classic case. Indiana was 4th a week ago, and yesterday they were 8th.
Yeah, they're 9th now.
Played, and now they're not. You see what I'm saying? So you could take care of your business, and we could be talking about a team that could have home court advantage, not just getting into the playoffs, but hosting the first round.
Well, that would be absurd. And a lot of it is because Bradley Beal. We've talked to you for almost 10 minutes now and haven't mentioned Bradley Beal. I just think we need to give him shine. Maybe it's getting old because we're getting used to it. But, I mean, what a night last night. I'm watching him. It's like he's getting better. He's getting better.
It's still alarming that they can't win a game when he scores 40. Right. I mean, what are they, 0 for their last 11? Is that what he said?
That's just a fluke because they should have won last night.
Well, but they didn't.
It's the craziest thing to me that I'm just looking at my notes here. So in the first quarter, he had 11 points, but you guys realize 7 of those 11 came from the charity stripe. Right, this is where I've said I think he has cracked the code on scoring in the NBA. He realizes now you can get double-digit points by just attacking the basket, right? So he drops 46.
Yeah.
I mean, look how many free throws that he had last night.
He's shooting 90%. He's at 90%.
And shooting 90%. It's not just getting there.
Yeah.
It's making them. And that's where he has figured out through 48 minutes how he can get 35 points. Okay, I used to say he could get off the bus and give you 25. Well, now I feel like he can get off the bus now and he can at least give you 35. Now, the problem is he's got to have help. And last night was one of those nights where, Davis played well, okay? Russ played well. Brad was exceptional. But you got to get more out of the other people out there on the floor. And that's why I said when you have 3 starters that were no-shows, if one of those would have came along for the ride, they'd have blew Boston out, because Boston is not a good team, guys. They are in that mode of we've got 2 all-stars, but we're playing 500 basketball, and the city is ready to turn on us. That's what the Celtics look like to me.
Mm-hmm. Possibly.
Now, Rui has been going along for the ride a little more often. Talk about his improved play. Okay, he didn't have a good game yesterday. I mean, he was a no-show, as you said, 2 points. But generally speaking, he's been kind of that third guy, right?
He has. And you know what I like most about him? And they didn't do it last night, and I wish they would have did it early. But in the Minnesota game, the first 2 possessions, I think they went to him in the mid-post. Let him get going offensively by getting him a couple touches early to see where he's at offensively. And if he can knock down 1 or 2 of those, let's get him activated that way. I just didn't think that there were really no opportunities for him to kind of get going last night. And then when Brad's going like that, I mean, obviously you're going to feed him. But Rui, for the most part, has been really aggressive on both ends of the floor. I think he has taken the responsibility of guarding the Kawhis, the Paul Georges, the LeBrons of the world. And now this is his second year. And he's not scared of those matchups. And in fact, I think he kind of embraces those.
Hey, just shifting the topic back to Brad for a second. It's something that we joked around. Have you seen a better player cheerleader than Bradley Beal's wife?
I ain't going there.
No, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. Like, she's tweeting about him all the time.
She's got her man's back, no doubt.
Hey,
if we could all have a Camilla Adams
somebody that
deal
had a
in our
ride or die
corner.
like that. Yeah, we wish we all had a ride or die like that, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's a compliment.
Chris, do you think that they're going to make a move before the deadline to add? Because there's a couple of statistics that are alarming. They're near the bottom in rebounding. Now, Thomas Bryant being out certainly hurts that, okay?
Yeah.
So they get out rebounded a lot, and then in turnovers. They're near the bottom in turnovers, and a lot of that is Westbrook. He's averaging about 5. But so I'm not sure you can help out in that stat, but they get out rebounded. I'm just wondering, do you think they add before the deadline?
I talked to Tommy Shepard last week, and he said as of right now they're not looking to add, but he also said that he wasn't going to trade John Wall, so that might be some GM speak right there. So that's a great question. The rebounding is something that has to improve. And, yesterday during our pregame show, I talked about how Boston has this $28.5 million trade exception, and they're probably not going to use it until the summer. I wish the Wizards had a $28.5 million trade exception, because then I'd be begging for us to go get Andre Drummond, right? You want to go get somebody that can get you 20 rebounds.
Oh, yeah, he'd rip down 15 a night.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the rebounding thing is not an issue when you got a guy like Drummond, but I think they're going to – I'm just going to tell you what Tommy told me. Like, as of right now, they're not looking to make any moves. They're looking to keep what they have right now.
I just feel like if they make a little bit more of a run here, let's just say they win, 4 or 5 of their next 7, and they get close to that 8 spot, just to improve that team. I mean, I would think they'd go out and look at somebody to help in that category.
Well, I think they can improve rebounding by just rebounding better.
Yeah, just effort. It's effort.
It's just the effort part of that to make sure that they can get in there and get those rebounds. But, it's interesting you talked about Westbrook and the turnovers. Have you guys gotten to the point now where you're just okay with it? Like, you just know it's baked into the game that he's just going to have some bad turnovers. But because of the way he plays so hard, he gives you a chance to win every night. Are you guys at that place yet?
A little bit.
Well, not when they were 6 and 17.
Right. Now they're winning, maybe.
But
Chris, we knew going in he was going to shoot yourself out of a couple games. Like, you don't love him. Look, he knocked down one corner 3, and then the next one was a brick. You don't love him shooting threes, and you know he's going to commit turnovers. But, damn, he's going to bring it with the energy and get you the rebounds and the assists and score. He's going to give you so much else that you do just live with it.
I'm kind of there right now with the, there's just going to be just some turnovers where you go, oh. And then there are going to be some shots where you go, oh, but I just love that he's going to give you all of this effort, and the fact that he's now playing on the second nights of back-to-backs. The only thing that happened last night, and I was talking about in the post-game show, I would have, and this is armchair quarterback here, I would have actually inverted the play where Brad was at the top of the key and drove and kicked it to Russ in the corner for a 3. I would have actually had Westbrook drive and kick it to Brad in the corner, because that's a higher percentage shot for Brad taking that shot. But, Scotty even said, when Brad slipped, he probably should have called a timeout. We can all look at those plays and kind of dissect them, though. But, man, for everything that went wrong last night, for them to still have that chance, that's the reason why I'm encouraged not only by that game last night, but the whole month of February. To get 9 wins was pretty impressive, guys. I want to see now what they do in the month of March.